What's going on, guys? I'm Nikanti, and in this video we're going to go over how to journal our trades. Everyone talks about how it's important to journal. You gotta journal. No one ever explains how to journal. What the heck do I have to write down? In this video, I'm going to explain what the heck you have to write down. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, this is for a winning trade, so I'm going to go over this pretty quickly. I mean, winning trades are nice to journal so you can reinforce what you did right, but the losing trade is going to be the meat and potatoes of this video. But we're going to go over this first, right? So this is an example right here. We did an NQ trade, one contract, NQ long at 17,501. Now, for your rationale right here, first thing you want to do after you put your entry price is put down all the confirmations. This is usually about like 2 to 4 confirmations on a good trade, on like what exactly you saw that made you want to get into the trade. What were the confluences that are part of your system, that are a part of your setup, that appeared so that you can make your entry on this trade. So we got 3 examples right here. One, it broke resistance on the daily chart, it bounced off VWAP, and it broke out of consolidation. There's three random examples on what you might look for in order to go long on NQ or whatever you're trading, right? So now this part is really important. This I got from Umar Ashraf, so shout out to him. He's the GOAT when it comes to trading psychology, all that good stuff. But right here, you want to assess how you're feeling before and during the trade, right? So you want to put a little T chart, your mindset entering the trade and your mindset during the trade. So for entering the trade, on a winning trade, I'll say I was calm and calculated upon entry. I did everything I had to do. I was well rested. I got up early. I did my morning routine. I did my pre-market analysis, and I was patient, waiting for my entry price to enter. Waiting for my setup to come. So that was my mindset entering the trade. Now my mindset during the trade. I wasn't anxious. I wasn't watching the trade. I wasn't having like Jimmy Leg, sitting like this, like waiting, like freaking out whether or not I was gonna hit my TP. No, I was detached from the outcomes. I had my stop loss set, I had my TP set, and I had my game plan on how I was gonna manage my risk throughout this entire trade, right? So this is not a win or lose game. This I got from Mark Douglas, and it's so true, and I'm still psychologically trying to get over this hurdle of seeing it as win or lose, especially when you're in the moment. It's hard to assess in the moment that it's not a win or lose game. This is an odds game. This is probabilities. We take these trades because we believe they're higher probability for us to make money and be profitable. That's why we get in on these trades. That's why we have a system. That's why we have rules. That's why we follow them. And that's why we will be successful as long as we follow the rules according to our perceived odds, right? It's not win or lose. So that's why when you have that mindset, you're easily able to be detached from the outcomes and just watch your system play out in accordance with the market. So since I'm detached from the outcomes, I was calm all throughout the trade. I wasn't anxious, none of that. And during the trade, as it went more and more in my favor, I moved up my stops until it hit TP. So I was managing my risk all throughout the trade, from stop to break even, to in profit, all the way to TP, right? Unless you're like Tom Hugard, where you'll let your trades run all the way to an insane amount and risk whatever the possibility of a reversal is, risk that to have to go back to break even, to have to be a loser after being up so much. Psychologically, I know myself well enough to know that I can't really handle that. Or I can, but I don't want to. It makes, more often than not, I'll get triggered, take trades that aren't in my system, oversize on those trades that aren't in my system, and blow my accounts. So I'm tired of saying GG's, and that's why I don't really let my winners run too long, mainly with like the prop firm accounts like Apex, because of the trailing max drawdown. But whatever your system is, just follow your system, do your thing. All right? So I did all this and I won on the trade. I sold at 17,565, ran it up for a 64-point move, 1,280 bucks. Boom. What did I do right? Pretty much everything I did with my mindset and my rationale. I was patient before and during the trade, waiting for my setup and watching my system play out. I was patient. I saw my setup and I executed on it. That's our job as traders. This is another literal quote from Mark Douglas, but our job as traders is to see our system, see our setup, and execute, and manage our risk after we get in on the trade. Because if we're not doing that, then everyone's right about us. Then we're just gambling. So when you're managing your risk, I guess it's still somewhat gambling, but at least it's calculated, right? We're not risking everything. So I saw my setup and I executed, not worried about the outcomes, and I was disciplined and well calculated with my entry and exit prices. Now, what I could have done better, this is subjective. This is all based on how you could refine your system, see where you could have done better, maybe assess price action better, maybe moved up your TP higher, maybe added more size because you saw you had a decent amount of your confirmations and confluences play out in your setup. That's up to you to put down. So, all that being said, that's how you journal a winning trade. We'll put, I do this in my notebook, by the way. I don't really do this on the computer. I mean, I have another spreadsheet on my computer, but that's like, I just do my own thing. So we'll put 1L, WL. All right, so now we're gonna go over how to journal a losing trade. So stay tuned. Boom. What's going on, guys? So we just went over how to do a winning trade. Now we're gonna journal a losing trade. Let's get right into it. So same trade, NQ long, same entry, different circumstances. Our rationale here was that it broke out consolidation and it's been on the uptrend all morning. I don't know about you guys, but to me, that's not really much of a system. But we'll find out why we took this trade from our mindset. So I'll do it from my POV. My mindset entering the trade. I was laying in bed after waking up at 11:15 a.m. Now, for one, we shouldn't be waking up at 11:15 a.m. We gotta get up, we gotta get money. What are we doing, all right? Not too many excuses for waking up at 11:15. I don't care how up late you were the night before, whether you were working, doing whatever. You gotta get up, you gotta get this money, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know? So, waking up late, red flag number one. I was feeling FOMO after missing the big move at the open. I mean, obviously it's totally normal to feel that way, especially when you slept through it. You slept through the big moves and you're feeling a little bit of regret. That feeling is almost inevitably gonna be there, especially if you don't have much else to do for the day, right? And I was eager to take a trade. So that's 3 red flags in one shot right here before even getting into a trade. So now these factors led us to take this trade with weak confirmations. Recipe for disaster, right? I think we can all agree there. My mindset during the trade. I was getting anxious throughout the trade. I was starting to get the Jimmy leg. We all know the Jimmy leg. We're like freaking out because we didn't have set exits and entry prices before getting into the trade. So now we're freaking out a little bit. Heart's racing, getting emotional on every move going against you. You're like, oh my gosh, come on. It's not fun. Being in these types of trades is not fun. So Jimmy legs, I was laser focused on my P&L, not even looking at the charts anymore, forgetting the candlesticks, forgetting the price action. We're just looking at that P&L, that number that says my account, or right next to what my account, going up and down, seeing the number go from no parentheses to having parentheses, from green to red, whatever broker you're using. Yeah, that's also no bueno. Focus solely on the P&L and nothing else. you can't really make too many rational decisions when you're focused solely on how your money's fluctuating, right? So, another no-no, I was raging at myself and my screen when I was down on the trade. That's a victim mentality, because you're like, oh, come on, like this is ridiculous. And two, comes from fear of the uncertainty and the ignorance lying behind. I don't know about ignorance, but I mean, it's ignorant to feel and react that way, even though we all get like that. I'm no saint. This is all from experience. Like, this will still happen from time to time. Not get up at 11:15, I don't do that anymore. But we've all been in this situation. So, yeah, it's mainly the uncertainty behind not knowing where the market's gonna go and no one knows where the market's gonna go, but not knowing how you're gonna manage the trade, and you just got in it because you were hoping it was gonna go in your favorite direction. Yeah, so that's everything on this chart so far is a recipe for disaster. It's all a mess. So, what happened? What was the result? What was the outcome? You guessed it, a loss. Sold at 17,446.5. That's down $1,110 on one contract. So, why did that happen? That's where we go to mistakes I made. I didn't do my morning routine. I was groggy going into my trading day. I had no game plan. I traded when I knew I shouldn't have. Getting up that late, being tired. Yeah, that was just a recipe for disaster there. I was too focused on P&L, laser focused on the present and the now, thinking there's not gonna be any other opportunities, and just being right then and there in the trade, and letting my emotions get the best of me, and raging. Right? Habits to the best of us, but if you really want to be profitable, we got to take those down to a minimum, if ever. You most likely, you won't really get emotional anymore when you systemize your trade, when you have your entries and exits prior to entry. It makes it so much easier because you don't have to worry about the uncertainty of the trade. And two, you're managing your risk, you're following your system. You're not playing it win or lose, you're playing it probability, you're playing it as an odds game. Because that's what trading is all about. Playing the odds and taking trades when the odds seem like they're ever in your favor. Shout out President Snow. If you know, you know. So that's how you journal a losing trade. Mistakes I made, your mindset entering during the trade, entry, outcome, put your score, like if you won or lost in the trade, whatever, and a letter grade too. I didn't put that for the winning trade, I kind of forgot. But for winning trades, if I follow my system, I'll give it an A. Or if I was emotional during the trade, I get like a B. But F here, terrible trade, 0 out of 10. Everything about this trade sucked. GG's. So that's how we journal a losing trade. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you journal your winning and your losing trades. Journaling your trades is super important because that's what's going to help you become consistently profitable at a much faster rate than if you weren't journaling your trades. This is the type of work you got to put in order to be successful at trading. Journaling your trades is going to help you dig out your psychological pitfalls that keep holding you back and causing you to make the same mistakes over and over consistently. And what we want to be doing consistently is following our systems, following our rules, and being consistently profitable. So on that note, hope you guys like this video. I got plenty more videos like these coming out real soon. Good luck with your trading, and I'll see you guys again in the next one. Peace.